Welcome to the Circle of M. I am your host, Marcus Smith II. This is a show where we unmask the feelings that cause anxiety and depression. I appreciate all points north. As I always say, we are now on the APN network. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. All of the Circle of M stuff will be on the APN network. These dope conversations, what we are doing. And I just want the show to be fun. I want it to be uplifting. I want you to hear some really deep convos, but also there's a light at the end of the tunnel of these convos, man. I have a great guest with me today, entrepreneur, former NFL veteran, as we would all say. Man, he's doing great things as of now. I've got to build a relationship with him. Let's welcome in Michael. I'm about to say. Let's welcome in Mike Jordan, baby. Let's get it.
What up? What up? Glad to be here, man.
Man, I am glad to be able to sit down with you, man. I got to talk to you a couple of times, man. So let's tap in. How you feeling today? What's the mood like? What was the flight like? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. Just coming back up here, I felt a bunch of different emotions. You know, the flight was cool, everything was smooth, but just actually coming back up to the lodge, just like, it felt good because it's a full circle moment, and just knowing all the good work that came in from here, and seeing you, and hopefully I get a chance to see my therapist that that I had a really great bond with. Yeah, it's been nice. It's been nice.
The mountains,
it's
the mountains is crazy now.
Beautiful. It's beautiful.
It's like you get fresh wind. Yeah. Even though you can't breathe up here.
One flight of stairs will kill you.
Hey, for real though, the mountains, the scenery, everything is beautiful. That's why we always say, man, if you having any issue, if you having something going on with you, man, try All Points North, man. I think that you will not be disappointed. Obviously, us as athletes, we're not disappointed in it at all. We've both experienced it. So let's go ahead and tap into our first segment, which is the icebreaker. We've been doing cards this whole time. Mm-hmm. This whole season, we've been doing cards.
Okay.
Right? So now we're doing healthy boundaries. I got these cards over here. I'm going to have you pick a card. And then as you pick, we'll have a discussion about that card.
Let me see.
Yeah. Go ahead and read that thing.
It says, I avoid people, places, things, and situations that are unhealthy or unsafe for me.
Is that true?
It is now. Yeah. It is now because...
Okay.
And just to unpack that a little bit, I just, leaving All Points, learned about boundaries and how to say no and things like that. Yeah. So now I don't really have, FOMO or anything like that. I can... easily be able to stop when something feels uncomfortable for me, or if I don't want to go out to this place, or I don't want to be involved with this group of people. I can easily see that now and kind of differentiate from what it is I want to do.
Yeah, was it hard before? Before you actually got the tools to understand what boundaries were?
Yes, for sure. I feel like I was too open.
Yeah,
and
that's how I am too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people will abuse that.
Yeah,
and it's not their fault. You know what I mean? We got to have some control over. It's our life. You know what I mean? So we got to have some control over what we do and or say.
Yeah, that's true, because if you think about it, we were just talking about this morning. I'm a nice guy. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But you don't want to get to the point where you just push over.
Right.
Right. You want to get to that point where they respect whatever you say. Right. Long as it's, within those guidelines of you respecting them and they respecting you.
Yeah.
When you set that boundary, people are going to have to respect it whether they like it or not. So when you think about being in the NFL, right, was that something that you always wanted to do? Was that a childhood dream?
It started early. It started probably about, it's not like a lot of people say they started when they was 4 or 5. I probably started when I was 13 or 14.
Okay.
And really so just because I enjoy playing football in the neighborhood with my brothers and friends, but it just became a thing when my brother, he went off to football practice and he started playing, and I'm like, man, I don't want to be at home, I ain't got nobody to play with. So I started playing on his team, as a 5th grader, and he's in 7th grade. So it got me ready for guys my age, and I'm like, I'm pretty good at this. So then it became fun,
Yeah.
So I just kind of took off from there.
Yeah. So you noticed that, oh, I have a gift.
Yeah.
This game, or let me say, because I always say, your talents lead you to your gift, right?
For sure.
Your gift is a part of what God's purpose is for you, right? Your gift to the world, in a sense. So I always say, football is our talent. It's like what we did. You know what I mean? But that's really intriguing because you got to play up. You got to play against all the big boys.
Yeah.
So when you start playing people your age, you killing them. You killing them. Okay. So in that process, I know you were saying that some people started at 5, some people, it depends on the love, for the game. Like when you look at when you actually started and you started to feel that, oh man, I can play. What was your confidence like during that process? And was your confidence like super high?
Yes. That started, I would say, early as 7th grade.
Okay.
And when I got to playing people my age, I'm like, oh, this is easy. Like, I'm actually really good at this, because I had already been hyped up by the older guys, and I didn't even score my first year playing, but I was okay with that. I'm with the big boys. I'm hanging out. I'm in elementary, they in middle school. You know, but when that time came for me to play with people my age, I was out there. It was a cakewalk. You know what I mean? So that became my confidence. I'm like, oh, I can do this. Yeah. So it just kind of elevated from there on.
So what did you play when you was in high school? Like, what was your primary position?
In high school, it was receiver.
Receiver?
Yep.
But then you switched when you was in college?
Yep. My coach came recruiting me, and because I played a little corner. Yeah. And he was like, yeah, I'm going to put you at corner. And I'm like, man, what you talking about? Like, I'm an all-state, all-conference receiver. Like, who are you talking to? And then he laughed. He laughed at me, and I'm like, he's so confident, so and that's what drew me to him into the program.
I love this conversation. I'm telling you right now, because you know what I played my whole life?
What?
Quarterback.
Oh, man.
Until I got to college, and it was like, bro, you a linebacker.
Into college?
Yeah. I was a quarterback in college, and they was like, well, what do you think about playing defense? I was sitting on the sidelines. Teddy Bridgewater was coming in the next year, so I wasn't going to play, if you being real.
Yeah.
I wasn't really that good at, learning the plays and stuff. Mm-hmm. So he asked me, like, do you want to play defense? And I was like, man, I'll do whatever it takes to get me on the field.
Yeah.
And so that second practice, I was a linebacker. And then I ended up starting the first game.
That's wild.
Against UK. You know what I'm saying? Rest is history after that. But the coach knew something that I didn't.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So that goes back to what you said when the coach was like telling you a corner.
Yeah.
He must have knew, like, yo.
He did.
You can eat at this position.
Yep.
You could get to the league at this position.
Yep.
I remember that one time I was having a hard time playing defensive line. I was getting pancaked. My confidence was done.
Yeah.
Right? And I remember my coach pulling me in the office. And Coach Strong was thinking about putting me at tight end because I could catch and I can run routes. Mm-hmm. But my coach wouldn't allow it. He was like, I need him to get good at this position.
Right.
He brought me in the room and was like, you're going to make a lot of money playing this position one day. I need you to stick with it. Did you ever have, like, one of those aha moments when you were playing DB? Like, because in the beginning, I know it was a transition. You had to learn the position. Mm-hmm. Was it tough learning the position? And did you have that type of coach who can, like, instill that confidence in you through that position?
Yeah, for sure. He, my coach, shout out to Coach Trotter. He definitely instilled always be the most confident man on the field.
Yeah.
And so the transition, I redshirted my first year, which I was perfectly fine with. I'm just, I'm okay with learning. So now he broke it down to me. It's just like you just playing the position of receiver backwards.
Yeah.
So now when the ball is in the air, I just want to be a better receiver than you.
Ooh,
you know what I mean? So
yes, sir.
That was a gem that kind of stuck with me. So now all I'm working on is the breaks and the angles and things like that.
Yeah.
And after, again, I'm practicing against the older guys. I'm a freshman, so I'm going against seniors and juniors and
going against the top receivers.
I'm going against the dogs. So and it don't come without bumps and bruises. You know what I mean? Like I took my share of losses, but throughout that time, the competitor in me is like, man, I gotta fix this, and this. So let's work on that. And then it just, again, I just began to elevate that, and it just kind of took off from there.
Was there ever a time where you wanted to give up?
Nah.
Yeah.
It was so hard for me.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the hard. Like, you know what I mean? So it was just like, I'm gonna figure this out.
Well, people like somebody like you embraces that hardness. You know what I'm saying? And being able to, you know what? I'm gonna get better at this position. I'm going against the top guys. It's gonna make me better.
Yeah.
See, it took me time to get to that point only because I would have conversations in my mind like, is this for me? Because like quarterback was all I ever did. That's all I ever knew.
Yep.
Like I was always athletic, but that's why I played quarterback. Usually when you're younger, the most athletic plays the quarterback. Most of the time,
sure.
Like depending on what school you at, unless you got like a powerhouse school and you got a top quarterback in all the other positions. But sometimes I would ask myself like, dang man, is this for me?
Yeah.
But it wasn't until my coach had that conversation with me, say, hey man, stick it out, man. I think if you stick it out, man, you'll be all right. And then end up my senior year, 14 and a half sacks. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like he told me before the year started, he said, look, Marcus, if you can get 10 sacks, you'll go first round. And I'm like, wow. I wasn't even thinking about that though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like a junior, I had 5 sacks in my junior year. I didn't know people was looking at me like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he definitely, Coach Hurt, man, shout out to Clint Hurt, man. He instilled confidence like no other.
That's all it takes sometimes, just a little sprinkle of confidence.
Bro, that's all I needed, man. And I just took off.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, let's transition to the next segment. Obviously, we want to talk more about you.
Okay.
Mental health, who you are. How has your understanding of mental health evolved over time? Like, because I know it was different before you came, right? So just talk about what it was before and then before or after you left.
I would say early on, like if we're going to talk about NFL and football, it just kind of wasn't a thing. It wasn't thought of.
Yeah.
Because it's just tough it through. Yeah. And what you're thinking, you'll be all right tomorrow. Like, you got practice, strap on, let's get it going.
Yeah.
And at that point, you're so programmed and kind of in this delusional mindset that you're just like, all right, bet, let me do whatever it takes to make the team.
Man, we definitely was programmed.
You know what I mean? Bad.
Yeah.
And so until now, fast forward, me getting out of the league, and a friend of mine was kind of telling me about therapy, and I'm like, man, let me try it.
Yeah.
And I don't really know what's to come from it, but I got all this free time, and I don't feel myself. Yeah. So let me try this therapy. And my first therapist, her name was Dana Burns.
Okay.
And shout out Miss Dana. And she just was able to get me to look at things a different way. She wasn't pushy. Yeah. She just kind of was, her thing was, she was like, well, so what do you think about doing it like this? Or what do you think about thinking of it like this?
She was giving you options.
Giving me options. Yeah. And that's all I needed to get my brain turning a little bit. Yeah. And then to further it, fast forward a little bit more, I fell back in the same mindset, kind of isolating, going through a depression, being done playing, and kind of went through the same cycle. Yeah. And, that's what led me up to APN. Yeah. And realizing some of the stuff that, unpacking some of the traumas and that I had been dealing with. Yeah. That I really just wasn't okay to really talk about, because we're used to a locker room. Yeah. And, it's just a different vibe. Yeah. And I just really feel like I didn't have nobody who understood me. So just being up here is kind of give you that same feeling. You know what I mean? And some of these therapists are phenomenal, and the trauma work and, all that stuff, I felt lighter. Like, I felt lighter.
So you came here and was like, woo-sah, like, whoo. You could drop your shoulders a little bit.
I did. When they first tell you about 30 days, and I'm like, man, I don't know. I got 30 days.
Yeah. I said the same thing, man. I got a family. Like,
bro,
I don't know. 30 days is a long time.
30 days is a long time.
But then, I'm not going to lie. Like, once we got to close to them 30 days, I almost felt like, man, 30 days ain't enough.
It's crazy how quick that happened.
Yeah, bro. You turn around like, man. So your experience, you talked a little bit about leaving the league. Let's dive deeper into that. What was that experience like for you, being done playing? You know what I mean?
It was rough. I went through it. Just, like most players. I got done like, I don't want to go through another cycle of trying to get on another team. So let's life. Let's get life going. Yeah. And first thing I did was, I'm gonna cut my hair. And
oh dang, you did have.
I did. Cut my hair. Instantly, identity gone. Yeah. You know what I mean? So now I'm going out in public and I gotta answer all these questions, man. And so I'm like, this is rough.
People, that is tough.
Yeah.
Having to answer questions?
Super tough. Super tough to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm about to move. Yeah. I don't even want to do this. Like, I'm about to move to a new city. Boom, isolation. Yeah. You know what I mean? So now I'm just in my thoughts by myself. You know what I mean? And that's a dangerous place to be.
That is dangerous.
That is dangerous. And I didn't even realize what I'm doing. I'm kind of, self-imploding. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it just took for me to go through all that to kind of see now what it was in the path that I was on.
I feel like when you get to that point and you start to understand like your triggers, you start to understand who you are, you kind of like start looking back. Yeah. You're like, damn, I was here. Yep. I was not healthy there.
Not at all.
Bro, it was times where that first part of my career, I'm like, damn, I should have been went and talked to somebody. Yeah. But in the locker room, I don't know how it is now. Maybe it's changed, right? But we so competitive when we get in there, like, I'm not gonna tell my locker mate
for sure
what I'm dealing with. He might use it out there on the field.
You can't give it an edge away. That's all we looking for is an
edge. That's especially as a DB. Oh my God, yeah. Man, you get into a receiver head, it's over.
Oh yeah,
it's over. You, Jalen Ramsey, talking. Right. You know what I mean? Was you? Fun fact. I want to know this about you. What was you that guy on the field talking that shit, or you was just quiet?
I was just quiet. I'm not a big talker, bro.
Okay.
I just came to work, just handle my business, and I have a little fun in the locker room. But on the field, I'm locked in. I'm not like over serious, but I don't have no business talking to you. Like, I'm just gonna try to beat you. Like, I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah. See, I was like how you were, and the problem was with my coaches when I was in Philly, they tried to get me to be who I wasn't. So they was trying to get me mad, doing little stuff to really tick me off, but that's not a great place to be for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't play well when I'm pissed off and mad. I play well when I'm like calm and I can rationalize what's going on.
Right.
But if I get all upset, you wouldn't probably even understand me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can't function like that.
Yeah.
So it used to kill me when they used to be like, man, we want to see more of that. And I'm like, bro, this is not me.
Right.
Because I tell you what happened. We was pass rushing. I fell on the ground. Come back up, pass rush again, fall on the ground. Coach is like, he kept saying like, athletes or top players don't fall. Top players don't fall. And that shit was just pissing me off. Like he kept saying it. And then I finally said something to him. I said, I don't even know if I can say it on here. I was like, shut the fuck up. Like I was going at him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the general manager come over to me afterwards and is like, man, we want to see that fire. We need more of that. And I'm like, bruh, that's not showing disrespect to a coach is not me.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? I always respect a higher authority
Yep.
or a coach. But at that point in time, you doing that on purpose because I'm falling pass rushing, bro.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. Like you didn't have to do that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. Like, what mental health practices have you incorporated into your life? You know what I mean? That you might have learned from APN.
I enjoy meditating. I don't do it enough.
Yeah.
But just the silence and the stillness
So
helps.
so that's something you learn?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And I really focus on doing stuff that makes me feel good. And, whether that's working out, taking my dog on a long walk,
I mean, you look like you work out. You look like you fit, man.
I try to stay
like
with
you
it.
can backpedal a little bit.
I try to stay with it, man. I try. Those things make me feel. Those are my types of therapy, outside of therapy and walking my dog, with the sunrise and going on hikes and stuff like that. So all those kind of things just kind of keep me nice and even keel.
Is that like if you had to talk about your day, is that working out,
Yes,
walking your dog, like that's, and then trying to at least stay consistent with meditation? That's something that you strive to do? That what you're saying?
For sure. Me and my lady, we, take my dog on a walk every morning.
Okay.
And maybe stop and get some coffee and, just kind of talk, decompress a little bit.
That's a great way to spark a conversation, talk about everything, bro.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's been really helpful. It really has.
It's healthy that way.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
What does your meditation look like, and are those activities basically like how you meditate in a way?
I'm more traditional when it comes to meditating. I'll throw some headphones on and go in my closet.
Yeah.
And, small 8x8 closet, and just with it nice and dark, and, I just kind of
tap in,
and I'm able to kind of hear and clear my thoughts doing it like that.
Yeah. So have you ever like once you left and once you understood who you were as a person, were you able to help like family members or others with their mental health journey?
Oh, for sure.
Like you could kind of like identify with some of the stuff, yeah.
Specifically friends as well,
yeah.
Because they have all the questions. Oh, how was it? This, that, and the other, and I kind of break it down to them. And when they're having issues that they're going through, I'm able to kind of talk to them logically about tools that I've learned.
Yeah.
In the mental health space to kind of help them out, and they all had the same look, like, oh, that makes sense. You know what I mean? And that gives me that feeling of fulfilledness, like, okay, like I'm able to help him. You know what I mean? Because I've been where you're at, kind of down on yourself and feeling like nothing is gonna get better and kind of catastrophizing and doing all those things. So to be able to help family and friends and kind of push them to do therapy and all that kind of stuff, it feels good.
Is some of your friends like NFL players too?
Yeah.
Do because I know even with me, some of them were not going into therapy
for sure
at all. Do you have any friends like that?
I got my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, no, you good.
I have one, but he goes to like a sports psychiatrist.
Yeah,
and that's cool. You know what I mean? I can appreciate that for sure. Anything to where you can kind of decompress, where you feel like it's an even playing field. Like, I'm good with that. You know what I mean?
See, when it's almost like when I took that step, others started taking that step too. So I enjoy continue taking steps, and if it helps others try to go seek some of the traumas that they've been dealing with, that's why I do the stuff that I do.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what fulfills me. Is there anything that you're doing right now that just gives you that ultimate joy, fulfillment, that you can say like, hey man, like, yeah, this it could be speaking, like how we doing? Like what is that one thing?
That's a great question, and it's an easy answer. Talking to people.
Yeah.
I really enjoy just like talking to people, hearing their stories, and just kind of being able to decompress and seeing what they're going through. My girlfriend called me like Dr. Phil, like, but I really do enjoy it, especially even more so like that teenage group, because they have a lot of different pressures, and some of them, especially the ones that look like us, they don't really know how to navigate.
Yeah.
So that's something I really enjoy.
Bro, I got something for you then, because we could talk after this, but you talk
me.
about 12 through 18.
Yes.
Like, if you think about that, those are the ages where you really grooming them to be men.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Be the right men.
Yep.
Right? And I think when I look at even the Circle of M, we just developed a mentorship program.
Okay.
And it's a program that I ain't gonna be able to do by myself.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, man, I appreciate you saying that, man, because it is about our youth
for sure
too, bro, because they need us, man. This is the world we living in today. They trained by social media.
Yep.
They trained by what they see, and that's not the reality, man. It's not. I want to pivot though, and I know I may be pivoting it a little early when it comes to our, what our stuff is on the show. I can't think of the word right now. I don't know why. But our next segment. So we talk about mental health news.
Okay.
Right? A lot of guys have been dropping, as we know. It's kind of hard for me to talk about because I hate seeing my brothers go down like that.
Yeah.
Right? When you see stuff like that, initially, what does it do to you mentally? You know what I mean? Because even with me, it's like, it kind of puts me in a little of a depression.
Yep, for sure.
Because then I start thinking about myself, my family.
Yep.
Sometimes I'm even scared to go to sleep.
Yep.
So what about you?
I hate thinking about it.
Yeah.
But it's just like, and that's a part of why I was off of social media for so long, because it's just like one of those out of sight, out of mind things.
Yeah.
And with, I think it hits the news and it hits everybody who sees it, consumers, different. But when you've been in that locker room and you understand the sacrifices, it hits you a whole lot different.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine, he always hits me up, and when something like that happened, and just like, I know this is tough for you, but I'm praying for you, da 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 da. And that's deep, you know, and I can appreciate that. He does it every single time. And I never get tired of it. And it's just tough. It really is, to just kind of see, because that shield, it really is a brotherhood, you know. So we feel what they feel. Yeah. And so it never gets easier.
Yeah. I honestly think that it's happening at an alarming rate with just NFL players, more than any other league. And I think that's something that needs to be looked at. And I'm looking in the camera, I'm telling you, like, this is not normal, right? Every 2 months is not normal, right? So whether you're having a mental health issue, drug addiction, sex addiction, losing your family, could be something that you're dealing with because of the concussions that you had. I'm telling you right now, there are remedies, there are treatments out there for you. There are beautiful people out there that can really help you sift through a lot of pain and struggle. And a lot of times, and this is from my own experience, a lot of times it's not that we want to hurt ourselves. It's more so that we want to get rid of the pain that we're feeling. And the only way to get rid of that is by doing something that we almost can't come back from. I did. Right. So that's why I'm having a conversation now, but some guys don't come back from that. So it's super tough, like you said, bro. Yeah. It's I hate, like you said, I hate talking about it. And I think my mom, somebody always send me like a article or something. Hey, like, hey, have you seen this? And I'm like,
man, it's tough, bro. It's tough.
I ain't see it, but I seen it now.
Right.
Yeah, man. I know that part was heavy, but I feel like it was something that I wanted to see, like, what your take was.
For sure. Like, I think you specifically are doing a good job bringing light to it. That's why I can always appreciate
that, bro.
You know what I mean? Our connection and, what we're trying to do, because I think it takes more than one, to get to, like you say, peeling back the onion. I think that's a big part of it, to just get people to start looking at at this?
Hey man, you know what? I want to pivot a little bit. Let's pick one of these. Let's pick one of these again, man. Cause I like the conversation we had sparked from that. I'm gonna shuffle a little bit this time though. A little. It might be something. It might not be you.
Yeah.
Well, we gonna talk about it though. Let's see what we got. Y'all bear with me. I want to do. No.
You gonna pick it or you want me to pick it?
No, I guess you could just kind of.
Okay.
I don't know. Let's see.
It's just a definition.
What'd it say?
Boundary. A boundary is the line or edge that marks the limits of something.
Okay. Do you think when you look at a boundary, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I mean it's the definition that you spoke on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you think about that visually, it is just that.
Mm-hmm.
Were there any boundaries that you had to set? You had to draw the line, right?
Mm-hmm.
And once you set that boundary, did you lose somebody? Did you, was it hard on you as well?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
And I remember one of the first boundaries I was really working on setting with, and it sounds crazy, it sounds childish, but with my therapist I'm like, my phone ring all day.
Yeah.
So she was like, all right. She was like,
that's a good one.
She was like, have a cutoff time. And
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, bet I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
So it worked out so perfect. I had a friend call me. I'm like, all right, I'm cutting it off at 8. So I'm like, yeah, don't call me after 8. And what happened is it was a little pushback, and I'm not good with pushback.
Yeah.
That was something that I need work on.
I ain't either.
So
because you think like, all right, I'm gonna set this boundary. We good.
Yeah, leave it there.
Yeah.
But it kind of got pushed. So I'm like, no, motherfucker, like don't call me. Like I didn't really verbalize it how I should have.
Yeah.
Thinking that they would understand, but they didn't. So it's just like I had more work to do in that aspect.
Yeah, that's. Man, you like me in a lot of ways, bro.
I know. That's what I'm realizing.
I got family.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I get back to the old way.
For sure.
People be calling me 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, right? And I got to shut that phone off.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's time, like, my day should be, like, I start my day at, 6,
mm-hmm.
right? But I don't really start working if I'm working with APN or if I got meetings or if I got anything that's online,
mm-hmm.
Zoom, whatever. I need to be done by 4:30, like a regular work day.
Right.
So at 5 o'clock, my attention is kids, wife.
Yeah.
They getting all my time, even down to social media. I don't need to be scrolling.
Yeah.
I don't need to be doing none of that. But sometimes, it's hard to stay consistent. But having to set that boundary sometimes is tough because, what if Anton call you at 9:30?
That's tough.
You know what I'm saying? And you still trying to build.
Yeah, exactly.
And you like, he called you. You got your phone on do not disturb, right? He calling you the next day, like, man, I had a opportunity for you, man, but I couldn't get a hold of you.
See, and that's where my mind goes. That's why I can't live with those, bro.
You know what I mean? But you can set it up now to where certain people
can get through.
Yeah, certain people can get through. But it's been times where I was on CNN and he called me at 8 a.m. and said, you're going to be on CNN tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So sometimes that happens. You may have a situation that comes up.
Yeah.
And you kind of got to be ready for it in that moment. But it's not always.
Yeah.
It's not always like that. But, one of my boundaries that I had to set was even with me in my content.
Mm-hmm.
Because I learned how to do content. And so when I'm doing content in certain situations, like the NFL, they paid me to do content for me to post a video and things of that nature. After they did that, I'm like, you know what?
Right.
I'm not going to, I ain't doing it for free.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I actually hate that part. You know what I'm saying?
Why?
just because I'm a giver, bro. Like,
I get it, but everything comes with a cost.
Bro. Yeah,
like, you might as well take it.
I know, but that was one of the boundaries that I'm still gonna have to set because I can't do everything for free, and at least bare minimum you could donate to my nonprofit.
Yeah.
For me helping or whatever it may be. That's how I do. That's how I do everything.
Yeah.
Really. So yeah, man. Okay, man. That was a good one.
Yeah.
I feel like, okay, Keith, man. Oh, you don't want me to talk about you? Yeah, we got Keith in the bed. No, I'm just.
That's okay. You shut me out. That's fine.
You got anything you want to say, Keith?
Well, I'm curious because you both have partners and setting boundaries is important.
Yeah.
How do you handle boundaries with your partner, or how do you handle your partner's boundaries?
Oh my gosh.
Hey, that's
he tapped in.
Yeah, he did. We should have left him out.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now. So same problem. My wife set up some great boundaries and put her phone on do not disturb after 8.
Yeah.
I keep trying to call her after 8, and because I'm not on the acceptable list or whatever we're going to call that.
Yeah.
It drive me crazy.
But you're in the house though.
No, I wasn't at home. And so let's say I'm on the road traveling.
Yeah.
So your phone's going to go on do not disturb, and I understand that your partners are on the let the call through list, but
yeah,
let's talk about other boundaries maybe.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
You want me? I could pop it off if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
So even with Allison, I think a lot of the boundaries start with me because of a lot of the stuff that I do, right? My wife is a nurse, right? And she's really big on family. And so if my kids start saying, "Dad, why you on your phone?" Right? That's like a red flag. And it's a red flag for her. And it'll kind of get on her nerves, right? And until I actually take the time and say, after 4:30, no more calls, no matter what it is, because you have to give them that time. And growing up, it was hard because my father worked 12-hour shifts. Now, he always was with me, and I don't know how he did it, but he was with me at practice and stuff. You know what I'm saying? He was my coach too.
He worked 12s every day?
Dang near, yeah. And on top of that, it wasn't always day shifts. He was working nights too. You know what I'm saying? So he was my coach as well. That's how I'm like, bruh, I don't know.
Yeah, he ain't sleep much.
Man, I don't know how. And he still kind of he still worked at the same place.
Yeah.
He worked, 6 to 3 or 6 to however. It's better now.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that to say, like, I want to be present.
Yeah.
And I think boundaries help me be present. When I don't set those boundaries, even with other people for my family, I'm not as present because I'm on my phone or I'm talking to somebody, right? And then before you know it, it's 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then it's kids go to bed 9:30.
Yeah, so you missed your window.
Yeah, and I'm just tucking them in for bed, and now I'm like, dang, I miss quality time.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's stuff that Allison will tell me that they did, and I'm like, wow, man, I missed that.
Right.
And I'd be hurt by it.
That's
you know
tough.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know you don't got kids, but that's something to look forward to. Or if you're taking any advice, man, just try to be as present as you can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah. So that's me.
I think that's something, you get to talking about being present.
Yeah.
That's something that I learned here and was working on too.
Yeah.
Because you kind of get so far in the future and trying to make sure everything.
I'm so futuristic,
man, bro. And it's like I'm learning it's okay to kind of have that balance and be present because it's gonna come anyway.
Yeah.
So you might as well just be present. But back to the boundary conversation.
Yeah.
Me and my lady. One boundary that I set was like when we get into a disagreement or something, it's like I need time.
Yeah.
Afterwards, like You know what I mean? Like
Yes, sir.
I need a little bit to kind of
see. I didn't know this about my dog. You my dog. Yeah.
to kind of get my mind right. You know, I might do whatever in that time, and then we can revisit because I don't want to respond emotionally. Like I want to be able to be logical about everything because in that time I might be able to say you was actually right. I was tripping.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I stand.
Yeah.
Her on the other hand, she's a talker.
Yeah.
She want to sit down. She want to cancel the rest of the day
to
get through whatever issue that we had right at that moment. And I'm like, bros. So we kind of been, having to find a middle ground on that, but it's gotten a lot better though.
Well, so I'm your lady.
Oh,
and
for
my
real?
wife is you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm the one that's like, yo, we need to sit down. We need to get through this right now. I'm not trying to go to bed angry. That was one of the things that I learned in premarital counseling.
Okay.
Never go to bed angry at each other. Figure out take some time, like you said. Now that's the one boundary that I've learned to not cross.
Yeah.
Right. I used to like, no, we need to talk about it right now, and it will make her more mad.
Right.
Right. And she doesn't want to say anything emotionally that she can't take back.
Right.
Right. Just off of pure emotion. So now it's like, all right, I give her time.
Yeah.
Then when the time is right, I'll say something funny or like, apologize or something to get the conversation started.
Right.
You know what I mean?
To get back into it.
Yeah.
Some good stuff happens in between that time, I feel like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you can actually rationalize what the hell just happened.
Right. Yeah.
So I hate that. Oh, damn, I hate that I was like that. Just pushy.
Yeah.
Because I'm going off of premarital counseling. I'm like, no, we can't,
Right.
So hyper. You know what I mean?
Trying to make sure everything perfect.
Yeah, and it's not reality.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it sounds like that premarital counseling led to increased communication, which is the key to all of that.
Yeah.
And
communication is the key, period.
I think that's a huge part of a healthy relationship is if one party wants to talk about what's going on and the other party's not ready, you have to be able to give that space and make that space for your partner.
But you also, that flows right into mental health because the more you suppress, you can't talk about your feelings to your spouse, to anybody else.
Right.
So now you're affected because you're holding all this stuff in. And, most women, they want, a good woman wants you to, give them everything. They like, talk to me, please.
That begging, literally. No, but it can't always be like that. Not all the time for me, at least. Like, it just takes me time. Like I just consider myself a logical guy, so I just want to take a couple seconds and think about. Well, it's a couple hours for me. I ain't gonna lie to you. So, and then once we revisit it, then we both cool. Like okay, now we good. Then we laughing about what actually happened. Then.
So, what impact has mental health awareness had on your relationship?
Oh, it's had an extremely good impact because I feel like I'm able to identify certain stuff and I'm able to identify my triggers and to see where I'm like, let's say like hyper reactive to something that might not even be anything, and just being able to realize those things kind of allows me to have a more free-flowing day, and that's kind of what you want. You know what I mean? You just want your mind to be at peace. I feel like, in the grand scheme of things, we all just want a level of peace. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think we can establish that by just communicating our thoughts and feelings. Yeah.
That's what's up, bro. That's what's up. Before we get out of here, before we even, step into not having a podcast, because we want to have the podcast, because the podcast is so great. You feel me? What was your favorite game? Best game?
My favorite game.
I know this is off the wall.
Yeah.
I was gonna say do both. Favorite game, best game.
Yeah.
You talking about while playing, right?
Yeah, like it could be NFL, college, it could be NFL.
My favorite game, it was a Browns game, and had a couple PBUs, and that was nice. and we still didn't win, but that felt really good because that was my first start.
Yeah.
And then my rookie year, I went through a gauntlet. Like my first 3 starts as a rookie, I got out the gate. I got Tom Brady, Russell Wilson, and Matt Ryan, and all that was all.
Hold on, where was you playing at this time?
In L.A.
In L.A. Okay. You was playing with the Chargers or
no? The Rams.
Rams. Okay.
Yep. And so a guy went down. I was next up and had 2 PBUs against Tom Brady. That was big time.
Yeah.
And so that next week, got to start again because I played well. You know how I go.
Yeah. Who you played with? Who was y'all safety?
Mo Alexander.
And who's the other safety? Who was the other safety? He ended up going to the Browns.
John Johnson.
Yeah. Did you play with him?
Nah, he was a year.
Okay.
Yeah, he came.
Because he from the same city White from. So.
Yeah, JJ, he's a beast. We know he's gonna have a good career. But yeah, I would say probably that Patriots game though. To be honest, that's probably my favorite and best for real.
That's what's up. I had a good game against Colts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sacked Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
Tomahawk.
Did you get the ball out?
Yeah, I got the ball out.
Did y'all recover it?
Yeah, Bobby Wagner recovered it, scored. You feel me? So that was my 4th year too.
Okay.
So it kind of stamped like, yeah, man, I'm here type of thing. But in the league, it's like you got to show that consistency each week, and it get harder and harder. The tackles are getting, more athletic, better. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it was tough. But yeah, I think this has been a dope episode, man.
For sure.
I appreciate. Actually,
I got one more question for you. Before you knew it was mental health care for yourself, did you have anything game time, sidelines that put you at ease? Like, did you have a, calming ritual, a favorite flavor Gatorade, any of those things that brought you down?
Were you superstitious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And I would just always, I gotta have a peanut butter and jelly before each game, and I walk the field barefoot.
Yeah.
And then I go back in.
That's what's up.
And get, then I get going.
You didn't even realize you grounding before the game,
right.
bro.
I'm just like, I want to stretch my toes out. Like, I'm not even realizing, what part of it, like I'm really connecting, but,
Dang, it's different when, I ain't gonna lie, when the grass is like fresh cut or like even if it's turf, like that don't feel different when you walk out there with no shoes, socks.
Yep. But
we used to do that when I was in Seattle. They used to make us ground.
Really?
Yeah. If you would have went to Seattle, bro, it's a lot of people who go to Seattle and revamp their careers, bro.
I've heard so many people say they love Seattle. Like,
bro,
I haven't heard.
I went there. I had issues mentally, right? But I had just signed a 1-year deal with them. I was getting the opportunity. Like, it was my 2nd year with them. I was with my D-line coach. Like, everything was going in the right direction. The city was great, bro. And Pete and my coach, bro, I mean, it's a family atmosphere. They let family come in the locker room, bro.
Yeah, I heard that.
They let family come watch practice, bro.
That's crazy.
Like, when do you, they other teams, like, shell you off from family.
Oh, yeah.
But they bring the family because they know what it's like, bro.
When you say they, do you think it's a Pete Carroll thing, or do you think it starts higher than him?
It's higher too. So that's why they brought Pete.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They want that same. The general manager is just like that. You know what I mean? He believes in family. He understands. Like, that's how they win Super Bowls.
That makes sense.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, we used to in camp. Like, I don't know if they did this anywhere else, but he'll come in, be like, hey, start talking. Like, oh, no, we're doing home run derby today.
That's crazy.
No practice.
No
home run derby.
You never hear that.
You got somebody pitching, boom. And if somebody hit one of the rafters or one of the what they call them that go up in the when you
banners.
The banners.
Okay.
Oh, I can't think of it. that's football for you. He was like, whoever can hit the banner, we done for the day.
That's crazy. You don't hear that. You know what's so crazy though? I used to see videos of like the Seattle, like the team meetings where people will be
shooting basketball?
The basketballs. I'm like, that's super cool. That's a way for everybody to, just kind of interact.
Just start the day. We start the day with that.
Every day?
He used to bring AI in there. He brought AI. He brought Steve Kerr. He brought Ice Cube. He brought Kendrick. Kendrick was in there, bro. I was like, bro, this is wild.
Yeah, that's nuts.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, of course you about to go out there and bang.
Play. Yeah.
You got all these people in here, you know what I'm saying? But it was, like I said, it was a family atmosphere.
That's super cool. And, the success, it makes sense.
Yep. Man, this has been a dope episode, man.
Did you have a calm token or a practice or a song, Gatorade, what have you?
I used to do different stuff, but I think for me, I had to listen to something that was calming. Yeah. I realized as my career went that anything that was in high of vibration, it would throw me off because you got to think about my personality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're not just a rah-rah kind of guy.
Nah.
Yeah.
So I needed some R&B.
Yeah.
Or some, Kim. I don't know if y'all know about Kim.
On,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I needed some of that. And it was, I ain't let nobody else know I was doing that, but it was just my anxiety was high then too, right? I didn't know I had a disorder at the time, right? So I didn't realize that that type of music kind of calmed me before a game. So yeah, that was me. But make sure you guys go subscribe to the Circle of M. We are on All Points North Network. This is a show where we unmask the feelings that cause anxiety and depression. I feel like we did that today. Not gonna lie, I appreciate you coming, bro.
Yeah, no problem. Bro.
This has been dope. Yeah. This is I love it when Keith chimes in.
Yeah.
There needs to be a camera back there so they can see Keith. You know what I'm saying? But nah, man, I appreciate you guys, man. Make sure y'all go subscribe, man, and tap in because these conversations are important and we want mental health to be cool one day, as my brother Soul Cole would say. So until next time, see you again. We out.
Yes, sir.